Hi folks, I'm Cheryl. Thanks for watching my YouTube channel. Today we will be using a block and a strap if you have one. If not, that's okay. We can make do without it. I've been sitting all morning, so my body needs to move, and I'll be focusing a little bit more on stretching and moving, especially through the torso, the vertebral column, but we will certainly encompass the entire body. But we'll start today with breathing. So inviting you to come to Tadasana, mountain pose, positioning your ankles underneath your hips, and just start to move your feet slightly forward and back. Maybe gently lift your heels and then your toes, and then spreading those toes wide and let them fan down to the floor. And really feel yourself connecting to the earth. And as you do so, pull up your pelvic floor. Feel some slight engagement through your legs, a lengthening through your torso. Roll the shoulders up, around and down. Take a deep breath in and exhale through your mouth. Let's begin to take one hand on the front of your ribs, the other hand on the side of the ribs, and if it feels comfortable, closing your eyes. And just start to pay attention to what your breath is doing right now. And if you've been sitting at a desk all day or been a little bit stressed, you might find that your breath is a little bit shallow, and we'll invite it to start to lengthen out. See if you can take a 3-part inhale and a 3-part exhale, more like a 3 count, very smooth, very fluid, and feeling that go through the circumference of your lungs, from the front, the sides, and the back. And if you find it helpful, even place your hand on your low back, one hand on front of the body and one hand on the back of the body as you connect to your breathing. Lengthening out that breath, but not forcing it. I don't ever want you to feel that you're constricting or holding in any way. Let it be fluid. And if you feel like your breath is moving fluidly, you can release your hands. Take 5 more conscious breaths, just connecting here and now to the body and breathing. Now take one hand on your chest and placing the other hand over top. Take a moment to recognize what's bringing you to this practice. What is it that you hope to receive from the gifts of this practice? For me, it's the gift of presence. Absorbing this moment fully and completely. Feeling the abundance of the moment. The sun, the birds, the ability to practice with you. This is what brings me to the mat today. And see if you can allow whatever it is that brought you to this practice to be really felt, and trusting that as you plant that seed, the practice will give you what you need. And now letting it go, just trusting the practice, not forcing. As you inhale, circle your arms up above your head. Let's keep them about shoulder width apart. Energize your fingers. Feel the firmness through your legs, the support of your pelvic floor. We call it Mula Bandha, some engagement through the glutes, but not over tightening everything. Everything is this balance. Feeling the connection, but not the force. Now begin to interlace your hands and place them at the back of your head. Open your elbows wide, just stretching out the chest. Lift your heart a little bit more. Feeling into the breath. Support the head with the hands. Feeling the evenness of the breath in this moment. And if it feels beneficial, maybe lift your heart a little bit more. It's a lifting up action versus a dropping back, although there will be some dropping back. Maybe open the elbows a little further. And for me, because I've been sitting at my desk, kind of hunched forward, this feels spectacular. Realigning the shoulders over the hips. Take another deep breath in, almost like you're breathing right down towards your feet. And on the exhalation, let your right elbow tilt down to the side. Keeping the left elbow reaching up. Press down a little bit more through the left foot. A beautiful expanse in the left rib cage. Inhale back through center and exhale, taking it to the other side. Now press a little bit more through the right foot. Open the chest. Breathe into the right side of your ribs. Inhale back through center. Take your arms out nice and wide, palms to face up, like you're stretching right from the inner edges of your arms all the way up to the tips of the fingers. Stretch them wide. Now releasing the right palm down, let the left arm sweep along the left ear. You don't want pinching, but nor do you want to force it down. So we get into some ease here. This time taking your gaze down to look past your right foot. Press down through the feet. Inhale, stretch those left fingers up, and exhale, follow that hand as it comes to meet your left side. Now rotate your right palm up. Inhale, sweep up to the sky. Sliding your left fingers down the leg, looking down past your left side of your foot. 5 breaths here. Press down through the feet. Inhale, reach up and up and up. Exhale, out and down. Let's bring our hands behind our backs. See if you can interlace your fingers and then draw the knuckles down towards the earth as you root your feet down. Maybe draw the inner edges of your elbows a little closer together and then lift your heart a little bit more. Keep the support of the pelvic floor. The support of the breath. And then realign the ears, the shoulders, and the hips. And exhale, bending your knees slightly, keeping the support of the abdominals hinge forward, just halfway down. Start to feel that stretch into your hamstrings. You can always place your hands on the front of your thighs and draw the navel up towards the back body. If it feels appropriate, on the next exhalation, hinging your pelvis over your thighs and maybe elevating your hips away from your back body. Bend your knees, sweep your arms forward, take an invisible chair, keeping those knees parallel. Now, if you look down and you can't see your toes, draw your knees back, but keep your toes connected to the earth, and allow your pelvis to naturally tilt forward as it does when if you were to sit down in a chair. Your body knows how to move, so the sitting bones draw back, and you kind of have a little bit of a curvature in your back body. This is good. Again, the arms can come up along the ears, or they can go a little bit lower. Work with your body. And then as you exhale, start to lengthen out the legs. Sitting bones rise as the fingertips come to either the shins or the ground. Maybe it's a few breaths in each. Begin to walk your hands forward and step your feet back to find downward facing dog. I'm going to start on the creases of my toes, bend my knees, and draw my sitting bones up and back. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Ensure that your arms are energized, and start to lower your right heel down towards the earth, keeping your left knee really deeply bent. Keeping those ears aligned in between the inner edges of your arms, and now engage your right quadricep. Continue to press the earth away with your hands, broadening your upper back. Now inhale, lift your right heel, and exhale, lower your left heel. Energize your left quadricep, keeping the abdominals supporting you. Inhale, let the left heel rise, and then exhale, descending both heels towards the ground, wherever they go. Maybe they stay up high, maybe your legs allow them to come down to the ground. If they don't meet the earth, no worries. Don't walk your hands back to get there. Just allow the body to be wherever it is, the muscles to lengthen wherever they are, without readjusting your hands. 2 more breath cycles here, feeling the entirety of the breath cycle from the moment it comes in through the nostrils, infiltrates the lungs, the belly pulls the spine, and the breath leaves the body once again. Now lower your knees down to the ground and come to kneeling. Slide your hands up your thighs. Shoulders, hips, and knees in alignment. Once again, inhale, sweep the arms up. Place your right hand on your low back, and then your left. Opening the shoulders as you do so, staying rooted down in the lower body. Begin to lift your chest to the sky again, opening up here. Belly drawing in towards the hands, and the hands press to create additional a little together. Bring the ears and the shoulders, the hips, lengthen the tops of your feet along the ground, and sit down into a kneeling pose. If this is uncomfortable, you can tuck your toes, but let's see if we can give the fronts of the ankles the opportunity to lengthen out, even just for a few breaths. If it becomes too much, you can lean forward onto your hands. We'll stay here for about 5 breaths. Heart space staying open. Taking your arms wide, inhale, sweep the arms up. Tuck your toes under, and exhale, kneel down onto your heels. Repeat that. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, sink. Control, inhale. Let your heart rise. Exhale. In breath. Out breath. Connecting here and now. Once more, inhale and exhale. Palms facing the thighs. Let the tops of the feet lengthen down along the ground again and bow down into child's pose. I'm going to wiggle my hips a little side to side. You might do the same. My low back's a little bit tight from sitting at my desk writing reports. And now becoming still. Let the forearms soften to the ground. Maybe the forehead meets the earth. Or maybe you use a block as I am today. Just to bring the ground up to me. Softening the shoulders. Dropping the thoughts. Being with the sounds that are happening now. The breath happening now. And coming into tabletop position, bearing weight in your hands. Wrist positioned below the shoulders. Extend your right arm forward, thumb points to the sky as you lengthen your left leg back. Begin to elevate your left heel, keeping your hand at shoulder height and your heel at hip height. Press through the heel, press the thigh bone to the sky, and now draw the belly into the back body. Press the left hand into the earth. Feel all of your abdominal muscles get to work. If it's too much, lower either the arm or the leg. If you'd like to add on, we'll come into awkward spinal balance pose. Point your toes out to the left and take that leg out to the side and your right arm out to the side. Bring that back to center and exhale, squeeze the elbow and the knee together, arch your back to the sky. Get long again. Sweep your right arm around, bend your left knee, and maybe it looks like this, or maybe you're able to take the top of your foot. We'll open up here. Press the foot into the hand. Ducks coming in for the landing. We have lots of wildlife here. Releasing the foot and place those back down. Same thing, other side. Lengthening your right leg, extending your left arm alongside the ear, left thumb points to the sky. Elevate your right heel to hip height. Press the right hand to the floor, feel your abdominals kick in. Press your left thigh to the sky while keeping that leg parallel to the ground. Coming into awkward spinal balance pose, rotate your right foot open and take it out to the side as the left arm comes out to the side as well. Balance here. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, draw the elbow and the knee together. Round the back, squeeze the fist. Inhale to get long. Bending the right knee, sweeping the left arm around. See if you can take the top of your foot. Press the foot into the hand. Open up the chest. And release with control. And come back down. Beautiful. Lowering both knees to the ground. Sweep your hands up your thighs. Let's take the left leg out to the side. Take your arms out into a T. Taking the outer edge of the left foot, reach it down towards the earth and feel your inner thigh engage. Keeping that foot in contact with the earth, begin to reach your right fingers to the ground or to your block, whichever one works for you. As you sweep your left arm alongside your left ear, continue to press the right knee into the ground and the outer edge of the left foot towards the earth. Positioning that right palm underneath the shoulder, elevate your left leg, energizing the muscles in the left arm and the left leg. And once again, wrapping that left arm around, bending the left knee. See if you can take the top of your foot once again. Press the foot into the hand, open up the chest. Bit of a back bend here. And release that out. Position that left foot back down to the ground. Just walk your hands forward and come back up. Beautiful. Left fingers come onto the outer edge of the left thigh. Sweep your right arm open and sweep up and over. Breathe here. You can look forward, down, or up. Sweeping that right arm up and release the left knee back beside the right. Well, let's take that to the other side. Taking the outer edge of the right foot, pressing it down into the ground. Left knee underneath the left hip. Take your arms out into a T. Support through your pelvic floor and with your breath. And either with or without the block, begin to let your left hand settle onto the earth as the right arm sweeps up and over alongside the ear. Lifting up through the hips. Breathe here. Pressing the outer edge of the right foot down to the ground. Finding an evenness in your breath. Begin to elevate that right leg parallel to the ground. Ensure that the left wrist is underneath the left shoulder and energize the muscles of your right thigh. Maybe even slide that right shoulder blade down just a little bit. Now bend your right knee, swing your right arm around, open the chest, take the top of the foot and press the foot into the hand. With control, release. Walk that right arm forward. Come on up. Keeping that right foot extended down to the ground, let your right palm reach alongside the right leg. Left palm open. Inhale. And exhale. Looking down towards that outer right knee. Keeping the outer edge of the right foot rooted. And the inner thigh energized. Inhale to sweep up, and exhale, release the right knee beside the left. Placing your hands once again on your low back. Hug the belly in to meet the hands, lift your chest. Second time through with camel. See if you can draw the inner edges of your elbows a little closer together. And maybe tuck your toes here. You can stay here or sweep the left arm up and around. Maybe to place them on your left heel. You can do one at a time, or maybe you'll do both simultaneously. If you have your hands on the heels, make sure you haven't leaned back. Continue to press those hips forward. Engage your glute muscles to protect your back. Open the heart, and be careful of your neck. Evenness through your breath. Engaging the belly, use those glute muscles, come back up to center, and then lower the tops of the feet back down to the ground. Come back into child's pose. This time my knees are a little bit more narrow, letting my belly come to rest on my thighs. Slowly, slowly easing into child's pose, stacking your fists this time. Let your forehead rest on those or use your block. Feeling a nice lengthening in the low back. Take your breath right down into the area of your kidneys, to the bottom part of your rib cage. One more breath. Inhale fully. Exhale completely. Begin to lift your chest. If you need a break from this, come out. Otherwise, we'll keep going and we'll stretch out the quadriceps. You can always sit on your block as an alternative, or a prop or a pillow if you have that. I'm going to nestle my sitting bones down in between my heels. You may or may not do the same. Remember, you always modify to meet your body's needs. Continuing to keep the knees stretching down to the ground so we can feel this through the quadriceps, maybe leaning back onto your forearms. And again, you can be here kind of lazy, or you can be here with a little bit more intention of letting those knees press down, feeling that stretch into your quadriceps. Maybe lift your chest as you press your forearms into the ground. My glutes are engaged. Another option is to let the back of the body come down to the earth. I don't know if you can still see me through the flower pot there, but I hope so. As the knees keep stretching down to the ground, maybe stretching the arms above the head, finding breath through the length of your lungs. One more breath, inhale and exhale. Use your forearms or your ankles, begin to come back up. And once again, come into downward facing dog, stretching out through the length of your legs. Elevate your sitting bones to the sky. Feel free to take your dog for a little bit of a walk. Maybe widen the stance of your hands or widen the position of your feet. 5 breaths, please. Quadriceps are lifted, engaging them. See if you can feel a sense of length, not only in the back of the legs, but also through your side body, and a slight narrowing of the waist without constricting or holding the breath. Now stretch the crown of your head down into the space between your hands while maintaining all of that. Beautiful, bending those knees. Let them come back to the earth and cross your ankles behind you. I have something biting my back, I think. Feels like it anyway. There we go. Now take your legs forward, extending your left leg forward. You might want to have your strap, and you might want to use your block, especially if we're going to be bending that right knee. So especially if bringing the knee to the ground isn't available, you can use your block to support the outer edge of your right knee. Let's take the strap and loop it around the sole of your left foot. Let's sit up nice and tall, maybe walk your sitting bones back and elevating, bring the shoulders above the hips and checking that you can just tilt your pelvis slightly forward. And if you're not feeling anything in your hamstring, begin to draw the heart forward as the left sitting bone draws back. Maybe you'll feel this a little bit in your back. It's never meant to be painful. Just gazing down past the nose. Ride the wave of your breath. Using abdominal support, lift your chest. Release the strap. Take that right foot and cross it over your left knee. Interlace your hands around your right shin, get nice and tall. Inhale, and on the exhalation, bring your left shoulder towards the right knee. Get tall again as you inhale, and on the exhalation, taking your right fingers behind you, elevate tall on the in-breath, and on the out-breath, finish your twist by looking over the right shoulder. Bring your nose to point towards your left toes again. Take your left hand to the outer edge of your left foot and begin to extend it long on the diagonal. Get tall again through the crown. Inhale and extend your right arm out wide. Broaden across your chest as you reach north and south through your spine. Come back to center. Place that right foot on the ground and we'll switch sides. Draw the left foot to the right inner thigh. Remember to use the block if you used it on the other side. Taking the strap around the sole of the right foot. Inhale, let your chest lift. Support through your abdominals. And on the exhalation, as the sitting bones draw back, the heart draws forward. Make sure you're not reaching through your chin here. Let's allow that neck to be a natural extension here. So we're not bringing a bend into it. Just gaze down past your nose. Breathe into the length of your leg. Keeping the breath nice and even. See if you can keep some connection between the back of your shoulder blades. They're not actually connecting, but the idea of them getting a little closer towards each other. Smile. We have long trains here. Those that come to classes here outside, they learn to just take this moment by moment. This is the sound. These are the sounds that are arising. They're no better nor worse than any other sounds. They just are. Use abdominal support. Lift your chest. Release the strap. And begin to cross the left foot over the right knee. Interlace your hands around the shin. Get tall. Starting with the shoulders above the hips. The right toes point to the sky. Inhale, and on the exhalation, revolve your chest towards the inner left thigh. Hold that knee in. Take another deep breath in. Get tall north to south. And exhale, releasing your left hand behind you. See if your shoulder's pressing up, and if it is, see if you can bring it down in alignment with your other one. Take an in-breath again. And exhale, just revolve a little bit deeper if that's available. Keeping your chin parallel to the ground as you look to the horizon. Out through the corners of your eyes. It's okay if that left sitting bone rises too. We're working with the natural mobility of our hips and our pelvis. This feels like medicine for my spine that has been sitting for hours. One more breath. Inhale right down to the base of your spine. And on the exhalation, beautiful. Inhale, come back to center with your torso. Take your right hand to the outer edge of your left foot. Extend that leg on the diagonal. Get tall again as you reach your left arm. So it's like we're reaching up and down and also left and right. Bringing your gaze back to center, releasing that leg down to the ground. You can either use the strap or not as we take this into full forward fold, Paschimottanasana, toes pointing to the sky. I'm actually going to use a block today, but you can use the strap on the in-breath, lifting your heart, and on the out-breath, letting the pelvis fold over the thighs. And just maintaining the integrity of your spine. If you tend to let your feet get lazy and kind of roll in and out through the outer ankles, you're overstretching the outer ankles here. So we pay attention to bring those feet in a neutral position. And you can help that along if this is available with the block. And you can do that once you set it up, also with the assistance of a strap. So as we push the feet into a block, you could also use a wall here. Once again, draw the navel towards the spine, elevate through the chest as you take an in-breath through the crown, and on the out-breath, hinging forward and bowing over both legs. And then allow a little bit of softening. Get into the tissue of the back of the body, from your heels all the way up through the back of the legs, along the spine. Sensation is good, pain, no. So work with sensation. If you have the tendency of always going 100%, maybe try for 50 or 70 today. If you have a tendency of backing off your practice, maybe ask a little bit more from yourself. We're going to stay here for 5 more breaths. Walk my sitting bones back as my body is a little more receptive now. Inhale, I'm lifting slightly, and exhale, bowing down again. Last breath, engage your abdominals, come up. Release your strap, release your block. Just put them to the side. Bending your knees. We do need that block, but you're going to bend your knees first, plant your feet flat on the floor. And now take the block and place it between your thighs. Either place it between your knees or lengthwise through your thighs, depending on your body structure. And either with the support, holding your thighs, or not, I'm going to invite you to round your spine here. Oftentimes this is taught with pure hip flexion, but I want you to start to engage your abdominals and let your floating ribs kind of roll in, and as you round out your back, slightly draw your chin in. Now feel those abdominals working as you slowly lower down. Breathing as you go. Squeezing the block so the thighs don't splay open. Pelvic floor supporting you, rolling all the way down. And as the head meets the ground, walk the ankles underneath the knees, keeping that block right where it is. Palms facing down, walk your shoulder blades under. Feel the backs of the upper arms connect to the ground and the center of the back of the head. Pressing down through the arms, inhale, elevate your hips. Squeeze the block with your inner thighs. Walk your shoulders a little closer together. Feel the activation here through your glute muscles. Holding and breathing here. Press down maybe a little bit more through the arms. And if it's available, maybe interlace your hands, walk your elbows under a little bit more as you keep action through those inner thighs and the glutes. Press the arm bones down into the ground. Releasing those interlaced hands, control the movement as you roll back down to the ground. Use abdominals rolling down. Keep the block between the thighs as you draw the knees above the hips. Reach your fingertips towards the outer edges of your ankles. Inhale, and on the exhalation, rolling up. Holding here. Make sure you're not reaching and opening the throat, but instead letting the chin tuck in towards the notch of your neck. Peeling your shoulder blades off the ground, maybe even letting your hips lift slightly. Slowly rolling the shoulders back down, keeping the abdominals engaged, and then letting the feet find the earth. Feel that as you journey down. Remove the block, please. Arms coming about 45 degrees from the body as the soles of the feet find each other. Walk the shoulder blades under. especially if you're kind of leaning and collapsing the chest. See if you can broaden the collarbones. You can use a block under each knee if you like. I'm going to extend my arms above my head and really feel the length of the breath through the rib cage. One more intentional in-breath. And then on the exhalation, help your knees together. Lengthen your left leg down along the ground. Draw the right knee into the chest, squeeze it in, holding your shin. Inhale, and on the exhalation, draw the nose towards the knee. Stay here, pressing the left thigh bone down to the ground. And if you'd like to use or engage more of your abdominal muscles, release your hands to either side of your foot, looking past your nose. Lower the spine back down. Take your hand to the outer, left hand to the outer edge of the right knee. Pivot your hips slightly to the right. Inhale, and on the exhalation, draw that right knee across the body. You can use a block to support the knee if you like. But stay for about 5 to 7 breaths. Perhaps taking your right ear towards the earth. Another option is to tuck your toes behind your kneecap. You'll feel that a little different if you do that. The sun. Bringing your head back to center. Abdominals controlled. Draw that right knee back to the chest. Holding behind your thigh this time, roll your nose to meet your knee. And switch sides as you lengthen the right leg down. The right heel in contact with the earth, the right thigh stretching down. Belly strong, draw the left knee in. Hands around your left shin. Inhale, and on the exhalation with the abdominals engaged, let them do most of the work as you lift up, nose to knee. Keep the right thigh and right heel in connection to the ground. Lower the spine back down to the earth. Keeping that left knee where it is, right above the hip. Begin to stretch your hands to either side of your left shin. Roll your chin in. Lift your shoulder blades a little more. Breathe. Let the spine come back down. Take your hand to the outer edge of the left knee, left arm out to the side. Pivot your hips slightly to the left and continue to journey into your spinal twist. So you'll notice that the seated twist accesses a different part of your spine or in a different way than the reclined twist. Inhale and exhale, find your depth, and maybe pick your head up and let your left ear come down to the earth. When we're out in the sun, the yogis believe that we absorb prana, we absorb energy from the sun. My horoscope is that of a Leo, and I thrive in my sun sign. That's something to be curious about or inquisitive about, is your horoscope and the signs. I know some people don't believe in it, but even if not, just be curious about it. See if there is something there that you can discover about yourself. A couple more breaths. I feel like my batteries are recharged when I'm in the sun. Exactly what I needed today. Bring the head back to center. Control through those obliques, the knee back to center. Holding behind the thigh. We've already done this, the reaching for the foot. I'm just going to have you press the thigh into the hands and then draw the right knee up to meet it and place the right hand now behind the crease of the right knee and the left hand behind the. Now press your thighs into your hands. Pull the navel towards your spine. Do you feel your abdominals engage? Now lift your head slightly. So you're pressing your thigh bones into your hands. And like you're resisting them with your hands as you look towards the space in your legs. Feeling your core muscles kick in. And then let the heels come towards the glutes. Soften everything. Draw the knees in close. Wrap your hands around your shins. And keep the back on the ground or elevate it. Squeezing in perhaps one more time. Lower the spine back down. One more spinal twist. Keeping those knees drawn in towards the chest. Take your arms out wide. Using your obliques and those knees drawn together. Or you can use the blocks to make sure that your knees don't come apart, which is what I'm going to do. Begin to let your knees draw down to the right as the left shoulder blade stays rooted to the earth. Looking once again towards the left fingers. This is our last spinal twist of this for today. Twists are said to be energizing. I certainly find that to be the case. I feel like I create better mobility and flexibility when I perform twists. And it helps me to actually de-stress. I hold a lot of tension in my back. We become quite mindful as we practice of where our bodies hold tension. Keeping that block active between the thighs, bring your head back to center, engage your obliques, bring the knees back to center. And now with control, take that over to the other side. Stretch the right shoulder blade down to the ground. Find your breath here. The head comes back to center, keeping the energy of the block between your thighs. Back to center. Release the feet back down to the ground. Remove the block. One more time, soles of feet come together, knees drop out wide. This time placing your hands on your inner thighs, maybe gently encourage gravity. Remain broad across the front of your chest. Open for breath. And on your exhalations, pay attention to lifting your pelvic floor. Drawing that pelvic floor up and in towards the center of the body as you exhale 2 more times. And releasing the pelvic floor in the in-breath. Exhale, squeeze. Assist those knees together. Walk your feet to the edges of the mat as you squeeze your inner thighs and your inner knees towards each other. And just give a little bit of pressure. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. Squeeze, release, squeeze, release. Once more, squeeze those knees. Feel the abdominals connect and release. Separate your knees. Walk your right foot to the corner of the mat and then your left. Palms facing open. Taking one more intentional engagement of the muscles. Make fists with your toes. Energize your calves, your thighs. Make fists with your hands. Squeeze, 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 and release it all. Relax. Take a few minutes of silent Shavasana. Don't deprive yourself of this moment where the practice integrates to every cell of our body. Surrender any controlled breath. And allow yourself to be absorbed in this moment. Practice of being, not doing.
Blessing in the Chaos by Jan Richardson. To all that is chaotic in you, let there come silence. Let there be a calming of the clamoring, a stilling of the voices that have laid their claim on you, that have made their home in you, that go with you even to the holy places, but will not let you rest, will not let you hear your life with wholeness or feel the grace that fashioned you. Let what distracts you cease. Let there come an end to what diminished and demeans, and let depart all that keeps you in its cage. Let there be an opening into the quiet that lies beneath the chaos, where you find the peace you did not think possible and see what shimmers within the storm.
And if you faded away, I'd invite you to be aware of your body supported by the earth. Feel the brush of the air on your skin. Sensing the light behind the closed eyelids. Take a conscious breath into the body. Expand your lungs. Hold and absorb for a moment. And release. Start to wiggle your fingers. Now stretch all 10 fingers wide, like you're breathing into the space between your fingers. And soften. Now stretch all 10 toes wide, fanning them. Keep breathing into the space between your toes and soften. Inhale, stretch the arms above your head. And just let your body arch slightly over to the right. Take your left ankle and cross over your right. Breathe here. Release that. Come back to center and take your right arm over to your left. Arch your body that way and cross your right ankle over your left ankle. Squeeze those inner thighs a little closer together to exaggerate that opening. Relax the arms down towards the ground. And release back to center. Uncross your ankles. Plant your feet flat on the ground. Gently rock the knees side to side. Take the right ankle over the left thigh. Open that knee wide. Maybe wrap your hands around your right thigh just for a moment here. Letting your chest lift up. And then release. Switch sides. Right foot on left thigh. Right knee opens up wide. Perhaps taking the hands behind the left thigh and drawing your nose to your knee. Lowering back down. Uncross your legs. Roll over onto one side and help yourself to seated. Take your gaze downward or close your eyes for another moment. Notice the effects of this practice on your entire being. Planting your left hand again on your chest and the right hand over top. Thank the universe for whatever it gave you today. The energy, the release, the stretch, the grace. Breathe into it. Hold it in your heart and then let it go. Thank you for practicing with me. Once again, I'm Cheryl, and I hope that you received what you needed out of this practice together. Until next time.